Hello, welcome to my channel, One Heart. Changing our hearts, changing our minds, drawing nearer to the Lord, building Zion, and getting prepared, which is what I wanted to talk about today. This is something that's been on my heart and in my mind for some time. And I wanted to go through, look at my food storage, and kind of just give a tour. It's very average, it's nothing special. I feel like I've had to really learn how to work with what I have. The house that I live in now is not a house that has a lot of extra storage space, even just for regular things like anything you need storage for. For example, the pantry that I have in my house is really just like a linen closet that we've turned into a pantry. And I've just had to learn how to work with the space that I have. So it's definitely not the most ideal, but that's okay. I think most of us don't have the perfect ideal situation for most things. So most of my food storage is in my garage, which I know is not the most ideal thing, especially the climate that I live in. We have very hot and humid summers and we have very cold winters. So you've got a lot of temperature fluctuation throughout the year. I do have a little space in I've got a utility closet. And I've got a little space in there that I do keep some dry foods and things like that. And then I've got a guest bedroom that right now my 2-year-old is using as a bedroom, but we've got a little space in there that I use for some food storage, but the majority of it's in my garage, which again is not ideal. But my philosophy on food storage is that you do what you can. You can't be prepared for every single scenario of something that could potentially happen, but just follow the guidelines that we've been given through our prophets and through different authorities in the church to get at least a year's supply, but to build up to it, not, go into debt or get too enthusiastic and then get in over your head with it. And I'm saying this really more for my benefit because these are things that I have to tell myself. But I tell myself ours is a God that he can rain manna down from heaven. He can make water come from a rock. And I think with food storage, the principle is the same with just living the gospel. We're saved by Christ's grace, but we need to do our part to be able to qualify for that grace in living the commandments, in walking the covenant path that the Lord has set for us. And then we can qualify to receive that grace and be saved. And I think it's the same thing with our temporal salvation. If we follow the guidance and the laws that are given, the law of being prepared, the law of obedience, then the Lord will consecrate our efforts. And our efforts might be very imperfect, but the Lord will bless what we have done. So the way that I have my food storage set up is I've got about a 3-month rotational storage, or what I try to be a 3-month rotational storage, on these shelves here, and then I've got a few other shelves that I try to work with. And then I have my longer term food storage up here at the top that has just some things that I found online that have a longer expiration date. I think they're all 30 years or longer. And before I had this is fairly new. This is actually my Mother's Day present this year because my husband, this is not something my husband would ever want to spend money on. So I kind of feel like I'm really the only one kind of prepping in my family for this kind of a thing. So that's something that I really wanted to get, something to make the rotational storage a little easier, a little more accessible. Before I had this, I just got some of these big totes. These were probably $20. I have 2 main ones that I worked out of, and then I've got a few smaller ones. But basically what I do is I just put all the food storage, all the extra food, my rotational storage in these totes. So these are just dry goods, things that we would go through as a family pretty quickly, just crackers, pretzels, some cereal, things that have a shorter shelf life. And I've got a box of just cereal. We eat a lot of cereal. My kids eat a ton of cereal. And then some flour, and then a ton of just tomato sauces and some canned fruit, And these are like mostly glass things that I don't want to put up high on a shelf in case there's an earthquake or something that would knock them over. I feel like they're a little more safe in there. And then for the most part, most of my other rotational things are on these shelves. And all these things on this unit here used to be on this unit here, which was not very stable because, as you can see, the boards are kind of bowing, and it looks better now that all the weight's off of them, but I was afraid that it was just gonna collapse one day. So I wanted to get something a little more stable. And this is definitely a work in progress. Basically, I just have some crackers, chicken, and I've got some canned beans, corn, got some dried peanut butter, got some other some condiments, peanut butter, stuff like that. Then we've got some vegetable broth, and then some noodles, some soups, more canned beans, mostly corn, beans. We've got our chips, and then just some different kinds of veggies. I've got some mushrooms and olives, green beans, things like that. And then up here, some more got some yams, some artichokes. I try to get a variety of different vegetables. I definitely, I'm not a pro at this. I just try and, when I get ideas and things, I see things at stores, and then I just kind of stock up gradually. And then applesauce, some baked and good things like cocoa powder. And then over here, I've got a ton of popcorn. I love popcorn, so gotta have a ton of that. And then dry noodles, some multivitamins. Could definitely use some more of those. Got a bunch of salmon. Then you have some sugar, other baking things, some mayonnaise, other condiments, a bunch of honey. And then we've got some more oatmeal. Got some oatmeal up there and some pancake batter. And I don't drink dairy, so what I do is I get this dried, it's not dry, it's got a longer shelf life than the refrigerated, but I get the non-refrigerated milks, like soy milk, and then you can get almond milk, and you could probably get other things, but those are the ones that I get. These have about a year shelf life. So instead of drinking the refrigerated soy milk and silks and things like that, I've switched to these because they are, I think, really great for food storage. And then I've also got some powdered milk for my other family members that don't drink soy milk. Then I've got some bags of rice. I used to buy the big, huge, 25-pound bags of rice, but I don't like having those because unless you just open them and use them, it just they don't ever get used. And it's a pain to keep in the house a huge bag that size. So I just have decided to start buying these. These are 10-pound bags. They're a little bit more manageable. So I've got a few of those, but I need to definitely build these up. So the recommendation for grains from the church is 600 pounds per person, per adult. And grains could include noodles, it could include rice, it could include wheat. These are some spaghetti bites I got from the church website, on their Food Storage website. So I've got a bunch of those, and then I've got a bunch of their flour, cans of flour. These are 4 pounds each, and I've got 6 of them. And then I've got some bigger buckets, and I've got a bigger bucket here. This is 17 pounds of flour. Then I've got a bunch of wheat berries in these bins here. And then I've got a few more buckets. These are oats. I really like the Augustin Farms. Those I just find them on Amazon, and I feel like they're reasonably priced. So that's all part of my longer term food storage, along with all this stuff I've got up here, mostly from Augustin Farms. And I've got these are I think 25-year shelf life, 30 years. These are, I don't know how they taste, but Pilot bread crackers. And they're pretty expensive now. I got them back a year or two ago, and they were a lot cheaper, but I wanted to buy some more because my kids are super picky, and if they were starving to death, they'd probably eat some of this stuff, but crackers are something that they'll probably eat, if they had Nutella on them or something. So I wanted to get more, but they were so expensive, I ended up not buying any. But I've got just various dried veggies. I've got some more pancake batter back there, some dry eggs, lots of potato shreds. I think I have like 4 of those 1-pound containers. And then I just try to get a variety of like dried fruits and vegetables. I've got a bunch of apples and bananas, and then just different like berries and things like that. Got some mac and cheese, then a bunch of canned fruit, and some more broth. I think soups and broths are great to have around just because they're also hydrating. So it meets those needs as well. And a lot of times you don't even have to like cook them. Down here is my water storage. I've got, so each one of these is 7 pounds, and these were a pain to fill up. I'm not gonna lie. But what do you do? Like, I feel like with water, you kind of, I mean, there's not like a lot of options. So you've got like the water bottles, of course, that are good to have around. And then also have bought a bunch of these like 1-gallon containers, but I wanted to have like a bulk storage of water as well. So we have a variety of different kinds of water, different ways to access water. So anyway, each of these is like 7 gallons, and there's, I think, 14 of them. So this is about a month's worth, almost, I would say. Maybe not quite a month, maybe like 3 weeks worth for my family. And the recommendation that the church gives for water is, I believe, 2 weeks. Also got some salt here, and the church actually recommends 8 pounds of salt per person per year, which that's a lot of salt. I could probably use some more salt. I also have some Mylar bags full of rice and beans and some flour as well. And then these are 72-hour kits that I put together for each person in my family. There's 6 of us. And I really didn't know what I was doing when I was putting these together. I just found some backpacks on sale after back to school. And I just Googled online like what to put in a 72-hour kit. I watched some videos and I got some ideas. So just really basic things. So thank you for watching. And like I said, I've got a few other things just in my inside, the little rooms that I have inside that I feel like would be a little more sensitive to heat and to just temperature shifts throughout the year. Like I've got powdered milk in there and different things that might have like chocolate chips or like granola bars, things like that. That I don't want them just like melting in my garage all summer. So I think it's just important to remember that the Lord is going to bless any effort that you make. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but to do it in the spirit of wanting to be obedient and do our best, and not in the spirit of fear or worry. It's about finding that, I guess, fine line between taking it seriously and trying to get it done, but then like not being like too overly concerned about every little thing that could happen. And thank you for watching and spending some time with me today. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.